Okay, this is much better audio. You couldn't hear me before. So this is for if you're running Xenia, you have import tuner challenge, and you want to set up your wheel, and you're using X360CE. So we'll start over here. We're in the options. These ones aren't too important. I'm not sure how big they are. I just know that there's some stuff that I changed. I know on the direct input I excluded supplement devices. Enable this one, you need to enable the X input, so that's going to be under the testing and logging, so make sure you do that. To add the game, there's a couple different ways you can launch the game, but the way that you have to do it is, you'll come up here, click add game, you'll bring in, you want to make sure it's the Xenia Canary.exe. I come down here into the X input files, and I'm running the V1.3, not the 32-bit, but the 64-bit, because for whatever factory it comes with the 32-bit, and I don't think that's going to work. I think that was one of the things that was holding me up. So once you have that all set up, you have the game highlighted, then come over to controller 1 and make sure that you're using controller 1. So if there's another controller in there, just come over here, hit remove. You can always add it back later. I just have the one controller to make it nice and easy. Add your wheel, whichever one you're using. It'll pop up, it'll populate in here, and then you can start messing with your control prompts, which are all of these down here. So for the triggers, the only ones that you might have a little bit of trouble with is whenever you're mapping these for your triggers, make sure that once you've mapped it, it'll let you know mine's axis 2. You go over here to the axis part, and then make sure you invert it. So, invert axis 2. And for me, it just auto did it for the other one. So both of these are inverted. These are both my gas and brake pedals. And then with like the stick axis, there's some buttons in here, which sometimes this gets a little messed up. There we go. Came back to normal. And then so the stick buttons, you can use these in the game also. So, do your D-pads are down here, stick button, this one you can set for your horn, or look back. So, set whatever buttons you want to that. And then, just memorize, which buttons you assigned it to. So I use my sequential shifter, which works if you plug it into the base of the Thrustmaster. I'm using the TH8A with, the sequential shifter. There's a little switch inside the shifter when you swap the plates that allow you to plug the shifter into the base and still use it on PC, because otherwise you have to have the USB extension and plug that into the computer in order to run the H pattern shifter, which isn't major, but it is nice to not have to use the paddles, because mine are super loud. That was me clicking it right there. It's just annoying, even with headphones on. It's just way too annoying. All right, so once you got all that done, you have all your buttons mapped and everything in here, right? And then, like I said, when we come over here to games, make sure that is the Xenia Canary.exe. And it tells you right here it's 64-bit, so make sure you change this part to 64-bit over here. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is how to set up your wheel so you actually get some force feedback and the wheel is still aligned to straight. So I have the T248. I just pulled up the control panel here. Now, on here, it's not going to tell you too much. This, it shows me like where my buttons are. So there's my shifter showing me my buttons, so I know that that's working. For this game specifically, the rotation I set at 250 degrees. 280 would probably be the max. You'd still have quite a bit of arm movement because the game is it's really not made for this, but that seems to work really well. Oh, and before I get too far away, let's go back over here. Controller 1. Now, if you look at the left thumbstick, so this is the one that's going to be on the x-axis. This is going to be your steering wheel right here. So you can see it. What I did was anti-dead zone at 5%. You can run it up as much as 10%, really just depending on how much you want. And then if you invert this, so see if I unclick this, see make less sensitive in the center. Well, if you invert it, make more sensitive in the center. So this will give you a lot more control with your wheel. And so that was the last piece that I needed on that. And then I don't know if I covered this force feedback. It doesn't really work for me. I don't get any kind of vibrations or anything like that. You can do that all in the Thrustmaster, the next thing I'm about to show you. But you can set this up exactly how I have it here. This is something I found online, and like I said, I don't feel any vibrations, and I don't really mind it. So if we come back over here, I think that's everything we need on here for right now. So yeah, like I said, rotation angle 250 degrees. And then if you come over here to settings, so if you do it by the game, it's just going to be dead. You're just going to have, there's no resistance, there's nothing. So if you do it by the wheel, so this is auto center setting. So I click by the wheel, I set it to 38%. It's pretty rigid. You can mess with all these. Overall strength of all forces, master gain settings and stuff like that. You can mess with any of these. I put the boost, constant, and spring on, and I'm not sure if that really does anything or not. This is really the main one, the by the wheel setting, and at 38% with the 250 degrees, it really works pretty well. So once we have all of that set up, now I'll show you how to actually launch the game. So we come back over here to games. We're going to click start. Now it's going to go to a black screen. Now if you click on here, hit 5, then you click open, it'll be a little drop down. And then click in the directory, that'll show the game that you're trying to play. So it'll be Import Tuner Challenge. It should be in the Xenia directory if you've already been able to set the game up. And once you've done that, it should load up. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, make sure you're logged in and everything, and it should work. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like gameplay wise. And I also have, if you're having trouble with the black screen, I also have a video for that. There's just a line of code you have to change inside of the patch, the ITC patch that you can find on Xenia's page. So check out that video if you're just downloading the game and trying to just get everything all set up. So this should be everything that you need between these two videos to play this game. And you can mess around with any of those settings that I showed you, but that seems to be the way to at least get it going for now. So I appreciate it. If you have any questions or you need help trying to figure something out, just go ahead and leave me one in the comments and I'll hopefully get back to you. Also, if this video helped you out a lot, man, I just ask that y'all just check out some of the other videos on my page. There are some how-tos, some tips and tricks, you know, some bug fixes, you know, Settle Corsa, Import Tuner Challenge, you know, anything to do with the Shuto or the Wangan, I'm pretty much all over that. Yeah, and I guess I'll just see you out there. Appreciate it.